They say every king eventually falls, but who knew it would happen in front of reality TV cameras, with a microphone still hot and a wife wiping tears off her cheeks while the world watched. Y'all, buckle up, because what just went down between Yandy and Mendeecees is not just reality TV, it's reality exposed, live and messy, and soaked in the kind of betrayal that even love and hip-hop couldn't script if they tried. 1 minute, Mendeecees is calm, collected, smiling in his fitted cap. The next, he's dropping confessions on camera like it's Sunday service and the devil made him do it. And Yandy, our girl, didn't even flinch at first. She froze, then cracked, then dipped into full-blown silent heartbreak, the kind that speaks louder than any screaming match. So what was the confession? Why did Yandy walk off set mid-scene, makeup melting, heart shattered? And why are producers now calling this the most raw and unscripted moment in love and hip-hop history? One thing's for sure, the streets are talking, social media is melting, and Mendeecees just lit a match he can't put out. Let's break down the scandal that's got Atlanta holding its breath. They always say what's done in the dark will come to light, but no one told Mendeecees that the light would be high definition, multi-angle, and broadcast to millions in real time. Because what he confessed on that set, it wasn't just a little misstep. It was a full-on emotional nuke, and it landed squarely on Yandy's heart. Let's rewind. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13 had already been doing the most. We're talking drama, deception, DMs, and disaster. The usual cocktail. But this time, something hit different. See, for weeks fans had been speculating that something was off between Yandy and Mendeecees. Her smiles looked forced. His apologies felt empty. The way they stood next to each other in group scenes, like two strangers playing house. And then came the leak. Screenshots, blurry, damning, and dripping with receipts. A so-called anonymous source dropped a folder online titled M's Secrets and Baby. What was inside had the timeline in shambles. Flirty messages, late-night meetups, suggestive photos allegedly between Mendeecees and a former castmate. Who that castmate was? Well, let's just say her name rhymes with Berica. Cue the internet investigators. Reddit threads lit up. Fan pages started decoding timestamps, matching outfits and selfies to known filming dates. Within hours, people were constructing whole PowerPoint presentations about where Mendeecees was, who he was with, and why Yandy had been wearing oversized sunglasses in every scene lately. Now fast forward to the cookout scene. Producers were aiming for a light-hearted vibe, some burgers, some banter, some fake peace. They weren't ready for what was about to go down, according to our inside source, who was reportedly holding a boom mic when it all happened. The moment started innocently enough. A cast member, some say it was Rashida, others claim it was a producer, asked a simple question. So, Mendeecees, you gonna say anything about the messages? And that's when it cracked. Mendeecees didn't get defensive. He didn't lie. He sighed, looked down, rubbed his hands together like he was warming up to ruin a decade-long relationship. And then he spoke. They were real, all of it. Boom. Silence. Not just camera crew silence. The kind of silence that hurts. Like when someone drops truth so heavy the air forgets how to move. Yandy, who was off to the side helping an assistant pass out plates, heard it. She stopped mid-reach. Her whole body froze like someone had pressed pause on her life. She turned, and in that moment, the mask dropped. No more strong face. No more reality TV composure. Just pure soul-level hurt. She didn't scream. She didn't curse. She didn't even blink. Her eyes filled with tears that didn't ask for permission, they just rolled. And then, she walked off set. No scene exit. No production cues. Just gone. And here's the wild part. Mendeecees kept talking. This man, knowing full well he had just shattered the trust of a woman who held him down through prison, through public scandal, through every tabloid headline, just kept explaining. Said the messages were from a time things weren't perfect. Said he didn't mean for it to come out like this. Sir, you just detonated your own marriage on camera. Insiders say the crew didn't know whether to keep filming or cut. Some were frozen. Others were whispering behind the monitors. But reality TV rule number 1. If it's real, you roll. And so they did. Yandy's exit sent a ripple through the whole cast. Spice tried to lighten the mood with a joke. Bambi was visibly uncomfortable. Rashida, bless her heart, tried to follow Yandy off set but got waved off. The girl just needed space. Social media? in flames. Hashtag why Yandy deserves better. Hashtag Mendeecees mess. Hashtag love and hip hop uncut fan pages started comparing the moment to Buonk finding out about Becky with the good hair. Only worse because this wasn't a music video. This was real-time heartbreak, wrapped in a barbecue scene. But just when viewers thought it couldn't get deeper, producers started reviewing the footage. And guess what? There was more. Mendeecees had confessed not just to the messages, but to an entire emotional affair that had been going on during the time Yandy was advocating for him on national TV. You heard that right. While she was organizing prison visits, speaking at rallies, and defending him to every critic with a keyboard, he was texting hearts and flame emojis to someone else. Disrespect? On volume 100. And here's where it really gets messy. Sources say Mendeecees' messages weren't the only thing shady going on. In part 2, we're diving into what the crew caught off camera, what cast members are now saying in their private confessionals, and why this may be the final straw for why Yandy.so the bombshell dropped. Mendeecees admitted it. Yandy dipped out. The entire cookout set got quiet enough to hear a napkin hit the floor. But you thought that was the peak of the drama? Oh baby, that was just the appetizer. The real mess? It was cooking behind the scenes, because while the public was still reeling from the confession, the cast, the very people who smiled and sat beside Yandy for years, they had thoughts. And they weren't holding back anymore. Let's start with Spice. According to a crew member who was inside the confessional booth that day, Spice didn't even wait for a producer prompt. She came in hot, red hair tied up. No glam, just vibes and venom. The first thing she said was, "That wasn't honesty. That was damage control." She accused Mendeecees of weaponizing transparency, said he only confessed because the messages were already out there. He wasn't trying to tell the truth. He was trying to spin it before it spun him. And listen, she wasn't wrong, because guess what happened hours after filming Wrapped? An anonymous email hit multiple gossip blogs. It had clips. Yes, clips. iPhone footage. Someone, and let's just say we have suspicions, leaked the raw moment Mendeecees admitted everything. No music, no edits, just his voice, Yandy's frozen face and silence, and social media exploded. Not only because of the content, but because of the angle. The person filming was close, real close, as in inside the production tent close. Fans started accusing the show of exploiting Yandy. Others said it was Mendeecees himself trying to get ahead of the narrative. But meanwhile, inside the cast group chats, chaos. Rashida reportedly sent a message that said, "I hope everyone understands. This ain't no storyline for her. Be careful what y'all leak." Bambi replied with a single line. This got ugly fast. And remember that ex-cast member we mentioned earlier? The one whose name rhymes with Baraka? Well, she posted an Instagram story that read, "Y'all ain't ready for what's coming next," with a smirking emoji. Tacky? Absolutely. Calculated? 100. Because a day later, Erica was spotted in Atlanta filming. Yes, filming. TMZ fake sources confirmed she was called in by producers for a special sit-down interview to clear the air. Now tell me this isn't looking more and more like a setup? But back to Yandy. She hadn't spoken since she walked off set. No Instagram posts, no tweets, no appearances. Fans were worried. Some thought she was taking time to heal. Others feared she was being pressured to get over it and come back for damage control. Well, we've got receipts. Someone close to production, and by close, we mean someone with a walkie, leaked a message from the top-level producers. It read, "She's not required to come back, but the episode won't be complete without her voice." Now read that again. That wasn't concern. That was business. That was a network realizing that the woman they had pushed into the role of strong black wife was finally breaking, and they needed it on tape. Meanwhile, Mendeecees? He was walking around set like a man without a country. No one wanted to film with him. No cast dinners. No group confessionals. Even Kirk, who's no stranger to being messy on camera, reportedly told him, "Bro, this ain't it. Not this time." Fans also noticed something strange. The episode cuts got delayed. Editors started reshuffling scenes. Rumor has it, they were trying to minimize Mendeecees' screen time while amplifying Yandy's emotional breakdown. You want ratings? That's how you get ratings. Now here's the real tea. Remember the SUV Yandy sat in after storming off set? According to our mole Aka, one of the assistant production runners, she didn't just sit in silence. She called a lawyer. Yep, and not just any lawyer. A media liability attorney. Why? Allegedly, to ask whether any of her emotional footage could be blocked from airing, especially if it was leaked without her consent. Let that sink in. Yandy's not just trying to protect her heart, she's trying to protect her image. And rightfully so, because once this goes live, once millions of people see her crack, there's no taking it back. But producers aren't slowing down. They've now scheduled a cast roundtable scene. Only 5 people are invited: Rashida, Bambi, Spice, Mendeecees, and a seat left open for Yandy. And guess who agreed to show up? Yep, Mendeecees. He reportedly requested a solo moment before the group arrived. 1 camera, 1 light, just him and a mic. He said he wanted to clear the air and speak from the heart. Fans are already dragging him online. One user tweeted, "He wasn't speaking from the heart when he was speaking from his burner phone." Another posted a meme of Yandy wiping tears with the caption, "When you realize loyalty don't trend, but betrayal goes viral." And honestly, they're not wrong. What started as a moment of confession has turned into a full-blown character assassination, not by the fans, but by Mendeecees himself. Because here's the part no one saw coming. Insiders say there's more messages, more women, more skeletons that might just come crashing out the closet during the next taping. One production assistant whispered the words, "We thought this was about Erica, but Erica might have just been the beginning." We'll break all that down in Part 3, including what Mendeecees tried to hide from the producers, and the surprise cameo that left everyone speechless. So when we left off, the cast was rattled, the fans were furious, and Yandy was lawyered up. But the storm wasn't over. Nah, it was just circling back with more lightning, more secrets, and more cameras rolling. Because what no one, and I mean no one, expected was the second confession. Let's rewind. Mendeecees had asked for a one-on-one. Just him and the camera. No producers talking in his ear. No prompts, no drama. Just raw truth, or so he claimed. According to a crew member hiding behind a stack of lights, Mendeecees walked into the confessional booth looking like a man who hadn't slept in days. Same hoodie from earlier, face puffy, voice low. And after 45 seconds of silence, he dropped it. There was someone else. It wasn't just Erica. Boom. And just like that, the entire post-production crew had a collective meltdown, because this wasn't in the script. This wasn't expected. This wasn't safe. He then continued, "I didn't mean for it to happen. It was during the time Yandy was in New York handling business. I was lonely. She was around." She? Who's she? Mendeecees. WHO. Well, get this. Insiders are now reporting that the she in question is a junior production coordinator. Yes, you heard that right. A woman on staff, working on the same show where he was crying about his marriage just days ago. And here's the kicker. That same woman, let's call her Kay, conveniently quit her job 2 weeks before filming this confession. No exit interview, no goodbyes, just gone. You can't make this up. According to one source, she was asked to leave quietly after things started getting suspicious. Another claims she was spotted leaving the same trailer Mendeecees was assigned late at night multiple times, and when that clip of him confessing about someone else got leaked, fans did what they do best. Dig. TikTok sleuths already think they found her. A former intern with a small Instagram following recently deactivated her last post, a mirror selfie with the caption, "Loyalty is a one-way street these days." Meanwhile, back on set, the drama was spiraling. The producers now had a second confession and no clear game plan. Do they tell Yandy? Do they film her reaction live? Do they act like it never happened? Well, they chose violence, because when it came time for the cast roundtable, Mendeecees showed up first, then Spice, then Rashida, then Bambi, and for a minute, it looked like Yandy really wasn't coming, until the door opened, and there she was, same all-black hoodie, same calm face, same unreadable energy. But this time, she walked with something else, a manila folder in her hand. Let's pause, because when a black woman walks into a reality TV set holding documents, somebody's career is about to be ended. She didn't speak right away, just sat down, crossed her legs, and opened the folder like it was a bedtime story she was about to read out loud. "Before we start, I just want to be clear," she said. "I've been quiet, I've been respectful, but I'm done protecting people who wouldn't protect me." Then she pulled out the first page, a printout of the leaked Erica messages, with timestamps. Then the second page, a screenshot of a hotel receipt to names, 1 room, Mendeecees' credit card, Then the third page, a printed copy of K's NDA. Termination notice. And baby? That room went dead silent. Rashida's mouth dropped. Bambi covered her face. Spice? She just whispered. Oshti Mendeecees froze. So it wasn't just Erica. Yandy said coldly. You were messing with production staff too? Mendeecees didn't even deny it. He just muttered, I made a mistake. And right then, that was it. Yandy stood up, but instead of walking off this time, she said, you can't say it was love if you gave it away to everybody but me. Iconic. Twitter caught fire. Yandy der Vespeter hashtag fireman DC's hashtag knew her from set hashtag hoodie and receipt sand. Here's where the plot twisted again, because someone in this is still being debated snuck Yandy a USB. What was on it? Allegedly, footage from a handheld camera unedited, unreleased of Mendeecees arguing with the staffer in question. She was heard screaming, you told me she'd never find out. So now it's not just cheating, it's manipulation, coercion, and workplace scandal. And the network? Now they're involved. Rumors are swirling that VH1 held an emergency internal review. They're investigating the breach in protocol, the abuse of production boundaries, and whether Mendeecees violated any ethics agreements in his contract. And guess who's speaking up now? Erica. She's allegedly demanding her own segment too. Set the record straight, because apparently, she has screenshots too, ones that show Mendeecees promising her things he claimed were over with Yandy. The man was out here building a relationship multiverse, and Yandy, she's done. After that roundtable, she didn't return to set. She posted a single Instagram story. Black screen. One sentence. I was his storyline. He was my mistake. Let that sink in. Now let's talk fallout. Fans are calling for Mendeecees to be removed from the show. An online petition has already crossed 150,000 signatures in under 48 hours. Sponsors are reportedly re-evaluating their relationship with the franchise. And insiders say even Mona Scott Young has gotten involved, demanding a crisis meeting with the execs. And get this, Yandy's lawyer has now issued a formal cease and desist to the network regarding the leaked footage. What does that mean? It means this drama might have jumped out of the TV and into the courtroom. Legal battles, damaged reputations, broken contracts, and at the center of it all, a woman who stood by a man through prison, public scandals, and fake friends, only to be humiliated by the very same man on camera. And you want to know the wildest part? It's not over, because word on the street is that Yandy's now negotiating her own spin-off series, one that doesn't include Mendeecees, one that centers on healing, sisterhood, and rebuilding from betrayal. And if she gets that green light, you better believe the first episode will be titled, and there you have it. The mask is off, the tears are real, and the storyline just turned into a scandal of biblical proportions. But the question remains, is this the end of Yandy and Mendeecees, or just the beginning of an even darker chapter? What would you do if your man humiliated you on national TV twice? Drop your thoughts in the comments because we need answers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next bombshell. Because in this reality circus, the drama never sleeps and neither do we.